soothing music. For Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton, we're in 76 nations around the world, including the Ukraine. So shout out to those peeps there. I hope you're doing okay and safe and sound. We are asking you to please not just Plate and Ponder, but also download, enjoy, review, pass along to your friends. Let's get into 77 nations around the world. But anyway, here we are on our weekly podcast because things have been busy. And I have my favorite co-host with me. Who is that?
Hello, everybody. I'm back on my own show, which seems sort of weird, but I'm here. That's the good news.
You are here, and we are both here. We're both here in Los Angeles, sunny Los Angeles. It's actually a little warm out there.
It has been warm actually all week, which leads me to believe that we are going to have a ridiculously hot fall. So in Los Angeles, for those who are not familiar with our temperature, I feel like Dallas Raines. Wasn't that his name? That news guy?
Dallas Raines. Is that really his real name?
You know what? I don't know. But I feel like Dallas Raines.
Channel 4 News, I think.
July is usually warm, but it's not this warm. I feel like we're getting that September, October weather a little early. So I'm somewhat nervous what the fall is going to bring. It's always right around the Jewish holidays that you get those scorching temperatures. And I just remember that because I would go to my grandma's house and she had air conditioning. But don't you remember Junie's house? It would always feel so hot.
So hot. I was I showered before I went over there because I knew I would sweat. And then I would shower when I got home because I would sweat. And
but that's what it really feels warm. Right. It sort of feels like that right now.
She was in Woodland Hills, which is warm by itself.
That is true. That is definitely true. Okay, but let me back up. So this weekend.
By the way, just so you know, I'm taking notes on my dermatologist appointment piece of paper here because yes, I am 55 and I go to the dermatologist
and you keep losing your glasses. You are very welcome. I ordered you 2 new pairs. My suggestion is we put them in places that A, we can remember, and B, that which you're not wearing, maybe we should get rid of. Because I feel like you just aren't paying attention to the stuff that I purchased for you. It almost feels like you're a child and I'm giving you advice.
I'm putting all my focus on you, and that does cause lack of focus on certain things. But I was just saying that I'm taking notes on my dermatology appointment thing because it's here on my desk, and I did see the dermatologist today, and I asked about a couple spots just to make sure they were okay, and she's like, yeah, those are just old man spots.
Is that what she really said? Old man spots?
She said, no, those are blah, 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 blah. And I was like, old man spots? And she's like, well, you're 55.
Of age?
You're getting there. We can burn those off if you want. And I was like, how long does that take to recover? It was longer than I was willing to go for today. So,
you know, it's funny, when I went to my physical earlier this summer, I guess I'm due for a tetanus shot. And do you know how hard, like that hurts because that's intermuscular. And I had a board meeting after the doctor's appointment, and the doctor said to me like, hey, do you want to do it? I'm like, nope. She's like, but it will just take 5 minutes. Like, nope. I want to be able to raise my arm. I want to be able to work out tomorrow. I am still due for one, but I think I have to space it out better.
I think my belief with the tetanus shot, because I remember getting one, like dreading it. I remember thinking to myself when I was like 17, I have to get one when I'm 27. It's the worst thing ever. But I think that's like a kid thing. It is bad, but like I remember that one of those COVID shots was made my arm painful for way longer. I think it was the first or the second. Like we both got 2, I think, and it was like one of those was terrible, and it made me seem to get COVID or something.
I think you had COVID more than I did.
Yeah, the vid. What happened to that? Was that actually in real life? What happened there?
It was.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a blur. But anyway, so that's my dermatologist thing. I did also reach out to my proctologist to say, oh, it's 5.
Wow, you are really dating yourself.
Well, I was just like, hey, it's 5 years and it's time for one of my favorite things in the world, the colonoscopy. Yay!
Have you ever done the poop in a box?
No, I haven't done that, mainly because they just don't say that it's that effective.
But
and it's
see, my doctor said it was.
Okay, well, like we don't need to talk about the poop in the box.
Well, I'm not saying we should talk about poop in a box. I'm just asking about a test.
Yeah, well, look, none of them are. It's just about empty nesting and getting old. We're called empty nesters.
I know, but I don't want to be called old.
No, we're not old.
I'm 48
We're just
years old. I am not even 50. Like, I want to embrace my youngness.
I 100% feel young. I think young. You call me a child a lot of the time. I'm not worried about the way that my mental state is in terms of immaturity. But there are certain things that you're just like, oh, God, I have to deal with that and I have to deal with that. And then you got to plan it out. Like, when should I do it? And like, that
is true.
And hopefully that's
always called like adulting.
It's like an overestimation of how long it takes.
Sure.
Hopefully is the hope. But because, by the way, if anybody cares, which I'm sure you do, because people did send DMs wishing Flynn well, Flynn is doing really well, I would have to say. Wouldn't you?
Until we got a text from our daughter on Saturday.
Yeah, well, knock on wood. He did eat something he wasn't supposed to eat yet again. And
Kaylee felt so badly. She texted, "Oh my God, Mommy, I left him alone for 5 minutes." And he ate another pair of her panties.
It is...
I don't understand.
I looked Flynn in the eye and I said to him, Flynn, now is the time where you need to be a lot better about this, because
I'm sure
quite
he
frankly,
understood.
If we have to go back to that very expensive veterinarian ER, my credit card might strangely not go through.
You said that on the last episode. I think that you love him so much. I mean, I hope we don't have to do it. I do.
I had a conversation with him, and he knows 100%
just like
what the deal is.
He can open doors with his thumbs.
He doesn't have thumbs.
That's my point.
Yeah, he opens it with his tail.
Can we talk about something else?
Yes,
because I don't want to be worried. So you're talking about adulting and what makes you feel old. Our kids turn 20 in January. Does that make you feel old?
Well, considering the fact I remember how long it seemed for me to get to 21, yeah, 20 seems really old.
Right. I don't feel old per se by having 20-year-olds, but I feel like having a 20-year-old, that's old.
What does per se mean?
Well, I mean, I could look it up if you want the actual
per se
definition.
It's interesting, not to go into an ADHD trance, but
in the Latin phrase,
for example,
by itself.
So
in itself. Intricacy.
In itself. So it's not writ large. Like writ large is...
It shows that you're talking about something on its own without extra context or other factors.
Now, in New York, they used to have a
restaurant called Per Se
or whatever. Yeah. And it was like the only 5-star or Michelin thing or something like that. That was the thing.
You're digressing.
It was in the Time Warner Center.
Yeah, you're digressing.
Okay. So I digress. Back to you.
Okay. So, we have these 20-year-olds and we've had Kaylee all summer, and look, we are not perfect parents. I'm going to put that out there. We have messed up many of times. There are things we could have done, should have done. One of those things we actually talked about last night. We did not teach our kids about chores. Honestly, we've taught them the value of $1. We've taught them study habits. We had them
get jobs.
No, I understand that, but we didn't really teach them
chores
at home,
here.
like emptying out the dishwasher, setting the table, taking out the trash can. They do their own laundry now, but that's just part of like daily living, akin to going to the supermarket, right? I don't see that as a chore, but I feel like we miss the mark there. Don't you? They're really good kids.
Okay, and they do their own laundry.
They've got incredible study habits. They're both great students. They're wonderful humans. They are kind.
They always work to make money.
Yes, but we did not teach them chores.
Well, I do see Kaylee's bed is made every morning, it seems.
That might be part of her OCD behavior, though.
Okay, and then I do know they do their own laundry.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of that. It also makes our life easier.
They both cook. Dylan does clean. Kaylee does not.
Yeah, she doesn't put stuff in the dishwasher or take stuff out.
She would rather sit out on the patio and sunbathe around Flynn's poos rather than pick it up.
Right.
Which is...
They don't walk the dog. I mean, they kind of walk the dog, but it's not like a kid. I don't know. So
it should be a fun moment for them to go walk the dog.
But what this started in my head was advice that I hope we've given them. And maybe we haven't laid it out on the table 100%, but I hope in some regard we've given them a foundation. And this came up earlier today because I saw an Instagram story, and it was 9 things I tell my teenager never to send over text. And it got me thinking, do we have this conversation with them? Like, I hope they're not sending nudes. I know they're not. Well, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I hope they're not. Number 1 was you shouldn't share your location. That means the address, the school, where they'll be. My kids do have...
they're on Snap, right?
Yeah, they're on Snap.
But
so
that's
their location
just for
is given.
Well, I think everybody is followed on Snap, but those are private. Like, we can't just go on that.
No, but like if you pulled up our kids, I think you would see what college they go to. And we've talked about it. So maybe we've ruined that too.
Well, Dylan was also in the recruiting thing, and Miracosta announces it. Like, everybody.
Well, that's just one of the rules. Number 2 is a photo. So you should never post a photo that they wouldn't show me. If they would hesitate to show me, then they shouldn't send it. And that's kind of like the nudies. You don't want your privates in public for your grandpa to see.
That's why I'm very free about putting Jeffrey Epstein into a bunch of photos that I send around to friends.
I don't think that you should be putting Jeffrey Epstein in photos.
Yeah, but I readily admit it, so now no one can use that as blackmail. Like, I think it's fun.
Okay, number 3, and I've gotten in trouble with this myself, is a screenshot of somebody else's message. I have 100% done this. I remember my sister, my mom, and I were on a thread. This is not the only example, but one that came to mind. And I took a screenshot of something my mom said on a separate thread. And I was obviously really annoyed about it. And I went to send it to my sister, probably to be like, she's absolutely crazy. What is she thinking? But I sent it to my mom instead.
Oh, you did not.
Yes.
And she's like, why are you resending this to me?
No, I don't think the choice words were that nice.
Oh my gosh.
You've never done that before?
Screen grabbed and sent it to the wrong person? I don't normally screen grab stuff. I think, do I send it? But you know me, like, I'm so open and vocal about what I say. I just assume everything's got a microphone in front of me. So I haven't done that, but knock on wood. I mean,
yeah, no kidding.
I'm trying to, I will say that there's a lot of times you have threads that are close to each other that you could see, right? I'm just going to knock on wood and hope that I don't do it.
Well, I have done it. I acknowledge it.
I'm also so vocal about stuff that if I said something about somebody, probably would be like, oh, I'm going to tell them that I need to talk to them about this, because I don't like the whole.
Okay, well, you're better. It's not better.
It's just like I don't like when people do it to me, so I just hit them straight on.
Well, you are very vocal, and that is how you are aggressive versus passive aggressive.
Vocal, la 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 la. You mean like that?
For this one, it would be do as I say, not as I do. Okay, Next one. You shouldn't share your passwords. Okay, you shouldn't share your passwords, and you probably shouldn't make your password 1 2 3 4 5.
My password's always password.
Good. Yeah. I'm proud of you. Thank you for sharing that.
Was it Hunter Biden? By the way, Hunter Biden did an interview with Nick Fuentes.
How'd that go?
I tried to listen to it. It was
Is he totally coherent and articulate? It was just like
hypocritical on both. Like, it was just hard to listen to, because you're just like, they're both,
why are you having trouble with your words?
They're just performance artists, they're both like, and then to listen to the one thing that Hunter was doing is he was trying to like make him seem like the moral authority over Nick Fuentes, which, by the way, is probably not very difficult to do, except if you're a crack addict who got your
former crack addict,
dad's or your dead brother's wife addicted to crack.
And didn't she get pregnant too?
While you were, hanging with her a bit.
Were they,
it's just the moral authority of Hunter Biden. I don't care how rehabbed he is impossible.
Okay, well, let's move on, because we're not going to make this show about Hunter Biden.
But wait, what was I going to say about that? Passwords. Wasn't he the one that left his computer somewhere and the guy was on the computer and he found
I
that
believe
his
so.
passwords were in a folder called passwords,
Maybe.
and all the passwords were password.
Yeah, well, that's kind of funny.
Oh,
Okay, the next lesson is you should never text anything written in anger.
yeah. Well, I've told you that too.
I know. And now a lot of times I actually send messages to you to get like the once over before I hit send. And oftentimes I actually don't send them. You're sort of like my gate to rationality.
I am, but if I don't like fully listen and hear as to why you want to send that, and I come completely out of the devil's advocate canvas, I could get that anger directed towards me. So I have to be careful.
But then I don't send
about
it,
Yeah.
so then it's better for me.
True, but but the goal is not to have the anger set on my fire.
Deflection.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a really good one. In fact, I do think being on social media, say after a certain hour or definitely after a couple cocktails, is definitely not a place to be, too. Unless you're in read-only mode.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's possible though.
Yeah. So what else?
The next lesson is you shouldn't post anything a teacher or a future boss should not read. That kind of goes back to, inappropriate photos of either themselves or in situations.
Yeah, I think that's a extremely good advice. I do think, given how much everything is recorded now for anybody that is being born today, I would imagine almost every second of their life is going to be recorded in some aspect. And at some point, everybody's going to have a recording of them saying something stupid or doing something stupid or whatever. It's just going to be all over the place. So maybe it just waters down that lesson. But for now, that's 100% a lesson to listen to.
Absolutely. How about this one?
Oh, and then here's the other thing I'll bring up is that as crazy as it is, and I'm not going to get into who or what, but I was doing some research on some people that I potentially I'm trying to do some business with, and there is zero on any sort of public platform, nothing, no articles, no resumes, no LinkedIn, no Facebooks, no nothing. I've never seen anything like that before. It used to be the way, like, say, Los Angeles Country Club screened their applicants to be a member there, is you couldn't Google somebody's name and see something come up. You had to be completely off the grid as far as a public any sort of public image or public awareness.
Well, that kind of goes into the next rule: is you shouldn't post anything that you would have to explain later on.
So in other words, like something that is ridiculously ugly looking, but it's completely out of context.
Perhaps just inappropriate. It's like almost using the reasonable person standard.
Yeah.
Like, would a reasonable person find this offensive, inappropriate, fill in the blank now, 5 minutes from now, 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Right.
And I wonder how all this is going to apply when AI is just being used by people to make them look bad.
Well, here's a really interesting one. Speaking of looking bad, you should never put in text the apology that actually needs to be heard. That's saying
good.
I'm sorry in person, not over text, but picking up the phone. Maybe what about writing an email? Is that the same, or is it really that kind of one-to-one contact? Because an email is somewhat one-sided, even though it's communication between two people. I sort of think of that as me calling and saying I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would argue that any sort of conflict or resolution around conflict should probably be done in person, because facial tics, expressions, eye contact, all that kind of stuff becomes extremely important as far as a human instinct as to whether something is genuine, something is, deserves forgiveness, or something deserves an apology, or whatever it is. Like, I think the human connection is so crucial.
Well, we've lost it too.
Yeah. But we've also, so conflict, you're bringing up that, but does it tackle the idea of like breaking up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Is that like?
Well, that's something I put in the apology. That should not be done over text. That should be
should
done.
Not, but what percentage is done by text?
Oh, I could ask my assistant.
I bet you it's really high. I bet you the problem is if we're not training younger generations to have the courage to stand up and get in front of somebody to deal with difficult situations or difficult conflict or difficult, rejections, etc. They're never going to do it.
Okay, so my assistant, aka Gemini.
Okay, wait. You're going to give me a percentage?
Yeah.
Okay, is it broken down by age?
Let me read, and then I'll fill in the blank. And
I want to take a guess.
Exactly what number of people break up over text or online? And it says, while the exact number varies across different studies and age groups, surveys consistently show that blank percentage of people have broken up with somebody or have been broken up with via text or online channels. What percentage?
Okay, so it doesn't go by age. It's just in general.
You know what it does? Then there's some more data, but let's do this first question.
The younger it gets, the higher the percentage would be my guess.
So the average is about 25 to 33%. So approximately 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 has been broken up via an electronic text, email, etc. channel. General adult survey, broader relationship survey indicate that roughly 25% of overall relationships break up via text messages. Teens and young adults, according to data from the Pew Research Center, 27 to 30% of teenagers with dating experience have actually ended a relationship via text message or a private social media message.
I am going to call BS on that. I think it's a lot higher.
I'm just telling you what my assistant says.
Huh. Well,
because 78, it does say the acceptability gap. So this is interesting. Polls highlight a major contrast between what people do versus what they find acceptable. So 78% of people rank breaking up in person as the most acceptable method, while only 12% consider texting acceptable.
The fact that 12% think it's acceptable is pretty amazing. I'm going to say that there's probably nothing more difficult, but also...
It's confrontation in its finest.
It's not confrontation.
Yes, it is. It is confrontation, and it's like an emotional disturbance.
Yeah.
That nobody likes to be in that feel.
No. And then, even the worst, the biggest D-bag guys still probably feel bad. I don't know. It's like it's not, and you do that, it's not you, it's me thing. And there's probably a bunch of like AI. I bet you could type in AI, best way to break up with a girl or a guy.
Why does it have to be a girl? Yeah.
A guy. Well, it's probably very different from the different points of view. And quite frankly, probably girls break up with guys more.
You think?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
I'm telling
probably
you.
guys, a lot of guys probably don't think they technically are as serious.
Dating?
Yeah.
Okay,
they just ghost. I wonder what percentage ghosts.
Well, here we go. If it's casual in the early stages of dating, like 1 to 5 dates, a short, clear text message is entirely appropriate, apparently. Longer term and exclusivity, if you've been seeing one another for several months and are quote unquote officially dating, then a phone call or video call is usually much better. What, you're going to do a video message? Hi, Chris, I really like dating you, but I think we're going to break up. Send. That's so weird.
Who the hell would do that?
That is so weird. It does have, my assistant has given a safety exception. I'm glad my assistant's looking out for me. Gemini said that if the person is volatile, abusive, has crossed serious boundaries, then the direct text followed by blocking their number is completely justified.
Ooh, blocking the number probably makes them more violent.
You know what?
Do you know when you're blocked?
That's a good question. So I'm going to admit that when I've gotten mad at you, sometimes I've blocked you. Does it go straight to voicemail?
I don't know. I try to get that out of my system. You
know that there's a 3-part formula for a text breakup?
No,
Gemini has gone into this for me.
But what's the percentage that ghost? Flat out just like stop taking... there must be douchey girls and guys that do that to the other side.
Okay, so the question I asked Gemini is what percentage of people ghost someone they're dating? And it says searching the web. The exact percentage depends heavily on age and dating habits, but across general populations, about 22 to 30% of adults admit to having ghosted someone when they were dating.
Wait a minute. So you add that 20 to 30% on top of the ones that
texted a breakup,
you're at 50%.
This seems like another example of us losing human contact.
But wait a minute, who the heck, like you're saying 30% of people
that was
break
the high
up by
end.
not returning a call I mean, that's
horrible. But I guess if it's like
bad.
1 or 2 dates, it's fine, right?
Was that a breakup or is that just
we're not compatible?
Interested.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know if that's a breakup. A breakup's got to be some sort of an emotional attachment relationship, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're supposed to start with a polite opener, optional compliment. Oh, you look really nice today, followed by the direct answer. So clearly things aren't going the way we want them to go. And then you close the door gracefully where you wish them well, without making false promises. So it's sort of like that cookie approach, the Oreo cookie approach, right? Or the way you give positive or constructive feedback. You give like a compliment, you give the feedback, and then you follow it up by another compliment.
I don't know if anybody's falling for that. Like, I mean, you know, the second somebody's gonna break up with you, and I remember, I'm not gonna name her name, she actually didn't respond to me, weirdly, and and then I went to the ice cream store where she worked.
Oh my God, you stalked her crazy?
No, I went to go say, hey, what's up? And this is back when like you had to leave a message on answer machines or whatever. And I could tell by the way she looked at me. I was like, oh my God, is she going to break up with me? This is crazy. And then she did. And then my buddies were walking in, and like the way my reaction was, like, I sort of like yawned or something like that, to try to shrug it off. And they were like, uh-oh, I think she just broke up with Chris. So there you go. It was very sad. No, it wasn't sad, but it actually was more shocking than we weren't dating that long. But anyway, it was, personally, I'd like to be the one that's breaking up. I didn't really like being broken up on. That was not cool.
No, I get that.
That was a sad trombone moment for me.
How did we go down this rabbit hole?
I don't know. It's a good rabbit hole,
We were just talking about lessons that we hope we've instilled in our children.
Did we go through all the lessons?
We did, yeah.
And can I just tell you about human flourishing, the human side of things?
Tell me.
Bad Counselors opened up.
You don't say.
Yes, it did.
Is that a movie you did?
It is a movie that I did,
but you've never talked about it.
Well, let me tell you, I want to thank you for helping me put together just a really fun screening here in Manhattan Beach, and we had 200 people that came, and we had cool like little step and repeat and everything. It was just like, it wasn't a premiere or anything, but it was nice to put everybody together. We had a youth group there. We had a lot of kids. We had a lot of alums from Miracosta High School and kids from college, and it was just really fun. So shout out to everybody for coming. I appreciate that. And you know what? It was a Little Engine That Could movie. It's I think one of the smallest movies I've ever made, but it actually made a nationwide release. I've made much bigger movies that didn't get that. So there you go.
Proud of you.
Yay. So thank you. So I was speaking of movie stars. I came across some advice from somebody that I never really thought of getting advice from.
Who?
Jim Carrey.
As in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
As in The Truman Show.
Okay.
Yes.
Two good movies.
And he has like these, I guess there's like 8 or something things for advice. And I was just like reading them. He's like, if you could tell your 25-year-old self some advice that you wished you would listen to at 25, what would it be? One of them is, action is the cure for an anxiety. Thinking alone will never pull you out of the place you're stuck in. Take one small step, then another. Momentum beats overthinking.
I like that.
I love that one. I mean, how many times do you get caught like overthinking something?
Oh, all the time. I spin. That's why I have to pull back and think of my daughter's advice, which is future self problem.
True. You know where I don't overthink?
Where you put your glasses?
No, at the grocery store.
Oh,
I just flat out, that looks good. Yeah, I'm getting that. Oh, I didn't even remember I needed that. Yeah, I'm going to get that. Oh,
Okay.
that's something I've never had, but I'm going to get
Here's
that.
another way you act like a kid. I feel like I am the parent in the grocery store. I'm like, nope, don't touch that. Nope, you cannot put that in the cart.
Just-
nope, I need
just
you.
push
Nope.
the cart. Just push the cart.
Hands on the cart.
Can I at least get us the fruit?
No, I'll
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, it's there was an Instagram thing where that guy keeps putting fruit into the shopping
And
cart
she
and
keeps
she
taking
just
it
keeps
out.
It's so funny. All right, here's another one. Take the first step. Stay positive, stay consistent. The world reflects the energy you put into it. If you face life with fear, fear often comes back. If you lead with kindness, discipline, and optimism, opportunities tend to follow. It's interesting. I feel like I heard stuff that he was difficult on set, but maybe I'm wrong, because if he lived by this stuff, or maybe he's saying he wishes at 25 he listened to this stuff. Like, I feel like he was a little difficult, but maybe I don't know that for
Can
sure.
I take a runway and just ask you a question about somebody on set?
Yeah.
It's a little detour.
Yeah.
But my sister and I were having a conversation via text, and she was listening to a podcast.
Well, you should talk to her in person.
Well, right, but she's in London, so the time difference.
Well,
she
if
and
you
I
ever
text.
break up with her, talk to her in person.
And I will not ghost my sister.
And
That's
don't
the good news.
Yeah, well, by the way, the Shios have been good at ghosting each other over the years, so no more ghosting,
Okay.
please.
That's fair. So today she was listening to a podcast with John Cena, and I know you did blockers
Was
with
that
John
a passive
Cena.
aggressive way of saying we don't do enough podcast episodes?
Maybe she wants more, but she said that John Cena is like a total mensch.
Oh,
and
total mensch.
So I don't remember you telling me about him on Bloggers, but do you know that he built a house for his mom? And he didn't even tell her about it until he was finished. And then my sister said that I guess he's really active, and maybe it's Make-A-Wish Foundation, I don't remember, but he's granted like
Military.
500 wishes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is such a good guy.
No, and it was painful during that crazy Fast and Furious thing where he called Taiwan a country, and then he got scolded by Beijing, and it became this huge geopolitical thing, and he had to apologize in Mandarin, which was a really strange thing to see him do as John Cena. And it was after we had done Blockers, so like everybody was talking about how crazy it is that John Cena did this, and like how bad it is and unpatriotic and all that stuff. And I was like, guys, this is just the power Beijing has over Hollywood. And he's kowtowing to Beijing, but he's also thinking about like the 8,000 people that worked on this movie and the fact that it's getting shut out of the country, and he's just trying to fix something. And he actually is one of the most patriotic people out there because of what he does for the military and all the different things that he does to support our troops and all this stuff. And on top of it, he's one of the nicest guys ever. So like, as much as I want to jump on the why is he kowtowing to Beijing, the reality is like he was just the wrong guy to get mad at because he's just such a good dude. Plus he was full frontal in Blockers, which is crazy when you think about it, what a good sport he was in that.
Yeah.
Although I guess you got to feel pretty confident in yourself too. Here's another one. You could probably say I should listen to it. You don't need an opinion about everything. Not every argument deserves your attention. Protect your mental energy, choose your battles wisely, and let unnecessary noise pass by. So actually, we're both at fault for that.
100%.
Both at fault. We're both aware, keenly aware. I do love talking about all kinds of different things. So I think that's probably why we have a podcast with 80 episodes already or something.
Is it that many?
Well, I think you told me the other day, what was it, like 77?
We started it about a year ago. I feel like we're about to have an anniversary.
A year ago was October. We're still a long way off.
Oh.
Right? Because we're July. So July, August, September, October. Yeah.
No, I thought we started it right when the kids left for school.
It was October.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive. I could look.
We could look.
I could look on the intranet.
You keep reading, and I'm going to look.
Well, the last thing I'll say is, you know what? I'm going to finish with this one, okay? Jim Carrey says, pay attention to the people who bring out the best in you. Your closest relationships shape your future. Spend more time with people who inspire you, challenge you to grow, and make you a better version of yourself.
Well, that's you for me.
And that is you for me. And that's actually a lot of the audience of Plate and Ponder. I feel like I mentally am with them, and they're giving us great energy all the time. Don't you?
Well, speaking of good energy, tomorrow night we've got to charge our crystals for good energy.
Oh my God, the moon has been incredible. It actually woke me up in the middle of the night last night. I couldn't go back to sleep.
I'm looking at one of our first. I totally am ignoring you. I'm going to acknowledge that.
Wait, why?
I'm looking at our first few episodes, and I'm scrolling. You know what, Chris Fenton? I think the audience needs to hear this because you are right. You are right.
When was the first one?
Saying it publicly. The first one is the 16th of October.
The 16th of October. There you go. I was right.
You were right.
I feel like we got to end on that note.
I think you probably should.
So that you just listened to another episode of Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton. Please download, review, follow, engage, enjoy, DM. We're in 76 nations around the world. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.